We begin our exploration at the heart of existentialism, a philosophy grappling with the nature of existence and the search for meaning in a seemingly absurd world. Life can feel like a labyrinth, a winding path with no predetermined course, where we are tasked with forging our own way amidst uncertainty. This journey is inherently solitary, for each of us must confront our own mortality, freedom, and responsibility. However, we do not traverse this labyrinth alone. Our paths intersect with others, creating a complex tapestry of connections that both challenge and define us. Relationships, in their many forms, become an integral part of our existential journey. Through these connections, we experience the full spectrum of human emotions: joy, love, sorrow, and pain. Within the framework of existentialism, relationships serve as mirrors reflecting back to us our deepest selves. Jean-Paul Sartre, a prominent figure in existential thought, famously stated, "Hell is other people." While this statement might seem cynical, it speaks to the profound way in which our interactions with others can reveal aspects of ourselves we might otherwise keep hidden. They challenge our perceptions, push our boundaries, and force us to confront our vulnerabilities. These reflections, however, are not always comfortable. They can expose our flaws, insecurities, and the parts of ourselves we deem unacceptable. Yet it is within this discomfort that the potential for growth and authenticity resides. Depression, with its insidious grip, can distort the lens through which we view ourselves and the world. It casts a veil of isolation, obscuring our connection to others and amplifying the existential angst that lies at the core of our being. The very relationships that once brought solace and meaning can become sources of pain and anxiety. We might withdraw from loved ones, fearing judgment or feeling unworthy of their affection. The weight of our own perceived inadequacy can feel insurmountable, leading us to question the value of connection altogether. This sense of isolation, however, is a symptom of the illness, not a reflection of our true selves or the nature of our relationships. Søren Kierkegaard spoke of the leap of faith, the courageous act of embracing uncertainty and committing to something greater than ourselves. In relationships, this leap often involves vulnerability, the willingness to expose our true selves, flaws and all, to another human being. This act requires immense courage, for it means relinquishing control, accepting the possibility of rejection, and venturing into the unknown territory of another's heart. Depression can make this leap feel insurmountable, amplifying fears and insecurities. The weight of our own vulnerability feels unbearable, and the perceived risk of connection far outweighs the potential reward. Yet what if we were to reframe vulnerability not as weakness, but as a radical act of authenticity? This is not to romanticize suffering or to deny the very real pain that depression inflicts. When we allow ourselves to be seen in our entirety, we create space for genuine connection. This act of radical transparency can be profoundly liberating, both for ourselves and for those with whom we choose to share it. It is crucial to acknowledge that vulnerability does not guarantee a positive or comfortable response. We might encounter judgment, misunderstanding, or even rejection. These experiences can sting, reaffirming our fears and tempting us to retreat back into the shadows. However, it is within these imperfect responses that we can discern the depth and authenticity of our connections. Those who stay with us in our darkness, who listen without judgment and offer support without trying to fix us. These are the connections that hold the potential for profound healing and growth. Existentialism, often perceived as a philosophy focused on individual existence, might seem at odds with the concept of love. Love, after all, implies a connection, a reaching out beyond the self towards another. Yet it is precisely within this apparent paradox that the existentialist perspective on love reveals its depth. For existentialists, love is not merely a passive feeling, a whimsical emotion that washes over us. Instead, it is an active choice, a conscious act of creation that we undertake in the face of life's absurdity. Simone de Beauvoir argued that authentic love necessitates the recognition of the other's freedom. Love, in this sense, becomes a dance between two sovereign selves, a delicate balance between intimacy and autonomy. Depression can distort our perception of love, transforming it from a source of joy and connection into a heavy burden. The expectations we place on ourselves and on our loved ones can feel insurmountable when we are struggling to merely exist. We may fear disappointing those we care about, withdrawing from their embrace to protect them from the darkness that engulfs us. Yet the existentialist lens offers a different perspective. It reminds us that love, in its truest form, is not contingent upon our ability to meet external expectations or to fulfill predefined roles. It is a space where, despite our limitations, we retain the freedom to create. The beauty of an existential approach to love lies in its recognition of the profound significance of seemingly insignificant gestures. When we are grappling with depression, grand gestures of love can feel overwhelming, even impossible. It is in these moments that the smallest acts of connection take on a profound meaning. A simple text message, a gentle touch, or the willingness to sit in silence with another's pain. These gestures, though seemingly small, can carry immense weight. They are reminders that we are not alone in our struggles, that even in the darkest of times, our capacity for love and connection endures. Friedrich Nietzsche, known for his emphasis on individual will and the pursuit of self-creation, might seem like an unlikely companion in a discussion about relationships and depression. His call to become who you are can appear to prioritize self-reliance over interpersonal connection. Depression, too, can foster this sense of isolation, whispering that our struggles are ours alone to bear. Yet, Nietzsche recognized that the process of becoming oneself is not a solitary endeavor, but one that unfolds in relationship to the world and the people within it. Our interactions, both harmonious and discordant, serve as crucibles for growth, revealing our values, testing our limits, and ultimately shaping the individuals we are to become. Herein lies the paradox of interdependence. In acknowledging our need for others, we do not diminish our individuality. On the contrary, we create the conditions for its fullest expression. To accept help is not to surrender our autonomy, but to recognize that our growth, our healing, and our very being are intricately interwoven with the lives of those around us. Depression can make it difficult to perceive the truth of this paradox. Yet, this perspective denies the fundamental reality of our interconnectedness. The profound truth that we are not isolated islands, but part of a vast and intricate web of human experience. The challenge then becomes one of embracing the both and the simultaneous truths of our independence and our interdependence. It is about recognizing that needing others does not diminish our individual worth or negate our capacity for self-reliance. In the context of relationships and depression, this embrace of both takes on a particular poignancy. When we are struggling, it can be tempting to isolate ourselves, to believe that we must navigate the darkness alone. Yet it is precisely in these moments of vulnerability that connection becomes most crucial. To reach out for support, to allow ourselves to be held and loved through our pain, is not to relinquish our independence, but to honor the truth of our shared humanity. Existentialism places a significant emphasis on the present moment, urging us to engage fully with the here and now. It challenges the human tendency to dwell in the past or to fixate on the future. Instead, it beckons us to embrace the immediacy of our experience, to find meaning and purpose in the unfolding of each present moment. This focus on the present is not about ignoring the past or dismissing the future. Rather, it is about recognizing that the only moment we have true agency, the only moment where we can truly live and create, is the one that is happening right now. Depression has a peculiar way of distorting our perception of time. It can trap us in a relentless cycle of rumination, replaying past mistakes and regrets like a broken record. It can also catapult us into a future thick with worry, where hope struggles to take root amidst a tangle of anxieties and worst-case scenarios. In this distorted temporal landscape, the present moment loses its vibrancy, becoming a blurry, insubstantial thing that we struggle to grasp. This temporal distortion can significantly impact our relationships. When we are lost in the labyrinth of our own minds, we are not truly present with those around us. Yet, even in the depths of depression, the existential call to presence remains a powerful antidote to isolation and despair. To be truly present with another human being, to offer them the gift of our undivided attention, even in the absence of words or grand gestures, is an act of profound love and connection. This presence does not require us to fix, to solve, or to offer unsolicited advice. Instead, it is about simply being there, holding space for their suffering and offering the comfort of shared humanity. It is about recognizing that even in our most vulnerable moments, our very presence can be a source of solace and strength. Depression has a cunning ability to convince us that our suffering is unique, a burden too heavy or shameful to share with others. It whispers insidious lies, telling us that we are fundamentally flawed, irrevocably broken in ways that set us apart from the rest of humanity. This sense of isolation, of being fundamentally different and therefore fundamentally alone, is one of depression's most insidious tricks. Yet, existentialism, with its focus on the shared human condition, offers a powerful counter-narrative to this isolating illusion. It reminds us that suffering, in its myriad forms, is an intrinsic part of the human experience. We are all, in our own ways, travelers on a journey marked by both joy and sorrow, by moments of triumph and periods of profound despair. Simone de Beauvoir, a prominent voice in existentialist thought, explored the concept of solidarity extensively. Solidarity, in her view, emerges from the recognition of our shared humanity. It is the acknowledgement that we are not alone in our pain. Relationships become spaces where this solidarity can flourish. When we share our struggles, we create the conditions for profound connection. In these moments, the walls of isolation crumble, and we catch glimpses of our shared humanity. Expressing our struggles, especially during depression, is not always easy or possible. Words often fail to capture our internal experience. When language falls short, presence can speak volumes. Sitting with someone in pain, offering a touch, or listening without judgment can be healing. This unspoken language of presence transcends words. It conveys empathy and a willingness to witness another's suffering. In our darkest moments, we are not alone. Existentialism, often seen as a philosophy of stark individualism, reveals a surprising truth through relationships and depression. It doesn't offer simplistic solutions or comforting platitudes. Instead, it acknowledges the complexities and profound potential of human relationships. Relationships, particularly in the context of depression, are both a weight and a gift. Within this weight lies the potential for profound healing and growth. In shared vulnerability, authenticity trumps performance, and connection transcends superficiality. It is to find solace in shared humanity, recognizing our struggles as a universal experience.